I've been researching the internet to find out what is at our fingertips when we type in how to register an ECD centre. Every single engine came back to me that you have to go to the Department of Social Development first. In my experience, that is not the case. I'm Sharon Isaacs from Friends Academy and welcome back to my channel. The first thing that you're supposed to do is you've got to sort out your land use management. But even before you get your land use management, you have got to have a name. You have got to have a name for your school. You have got to know how many children you are going to accommodate at your school, how many staff members, and which area of your home, if you're using your home, which area of your home are you going to designate for a place of instruction. Once you've got all of that, the first stop you've got to do is land use management. So what is land use management all about? When you walk into somebody's home, you walk in at the front door, you walk into the lounge area. If you need to go to the bathroom, they will say it's on your right. If you need a glass of water, they'll say it's on your left at the kitchen. If you need a rest, they'll say walk straight ahead to the bedroom where you'll find a bed. So you have a map of the house, and land use management is basically a map of the city. You have a residential area, your recreational area, your schools, your industrial areas. So land use management ensures that the city has buildings and roads in an orderly structure and that the buildings are safe. So where does ECDs fall in with land use management? We need to get consent from our neighbours whether they would like to have a place of instruction in the area, because it may make the road busier than what it was, and if it's a quiet area, the neighbours may object. So it's just not about popping up an ECD anywhere where you feel like it. In most cases, the neighbours are quite willing to oblige. ECD centres used to be housed in civic centres before, and then it's just ideal because there's ample parking, there's enough space, and there's enough ablution facilities. But since more and more people are opening ECD centres in their homes, the civic centres are no longer used as frequently as they are. And you need to now get a special memo of understanding between the city and you when you use the centre. Often civic centres will allow you to use the facilities for free or for a minimal charge, but that is between you and the ward councillor of your area. People are more and more turning towards having ECD centres at their homes, either building up special structures away from their home or designating a part of their home specifically just for ECD, or they are buildings privately. Most ECD centres, I would say 80 to 90%, are privately owned and privately funded. And from that, I would say about 55 to 75% are privately owned, with the remainder 20-25% being NPOs. What do you need to do when you go to land use? Which documents do you need? The first thing that you need is your approved building plan. You cannot take a plan to land use and say, I would like to start an ECD. Would you approve my plan? No, your plan has got to be approved already. There must be a stamp on there from the city to say that that house is sound. Then the second thing you've got to take with is you've got to take a letter of motivation. You need to explain to the city why is it that you want to have an ECD centre at your home. You have seen that there's a need in your community for childcare. Neighbours and family and friends have approached you and asked you to look after the children, and you are in an ideal spot because you're close to schools to offer ECD, which can be aftercare, creche facility, a playgroup, a daycare centre, a preschool. Any of those titles can fall under ECD, and you can offer that to the school so that Parents don't have to rush home to get the children. You'll get the children and keep them in a safe place. So basically ECD, Early Childhood Development Centres, is from birth till 9 years old to offer a safe place for the children to come to before school and after school. Now let me get all the documents in order because I think I'm jumping all over the place. You've got to have your approved building plan. The city will send out letters to the neighbours to get their comment, whether they are in agreement with you or not. If a neighbour is not happy if a neighbour is not happy with you opening an ECD centre close by, then you have an opportunity to appeal and explain your case and hopefully change their mind. Before, you used to take all these documents into land use management in paper form and you had to take 10 copies of each document. Now everything is paperless, so you've got to scan in your plan onto a USB stick. You've got to scan in your letter onto the USB stick as well, and then you have your letter you go onto the city's portal, City of Cape Town portal, and then you've got to have a username and a password, because that will be your account. You can apply two ways. You can sit at home at your computer and apply online, because you're going to go to the same address. See that you have everything on your computer or on your USB stick, and then you just populate the fields as they come up. The application that you're asking for is land use management, okay? Because you are going to manage a portion of your land. It's going to change function from residential to place of instruction. Now, if you have 34 or less children, this application is totally free, provided that there's no boundaries or bylaws or departures that you have to pay for. You go in, you make your application, and then you wait 2 to 3 months to get all your comments back, and that's when you have your approved plan. If you have 35 children or more, you're going to apply for a large ECD, and in this case you're going to have to apply to have that area of that portion of your premises rezoned to be a place of instruction. Now, rezoning is quite expensive. You can either get someone to do it for you and pay them, and then everything will be done properly. We did it ourselves, and it cost us a bit less, but it was still very pricey. We had to approach Province, and Province was very helpful to us, and they guided us in our application. We applied to rezone a part of our premises to be a place of instruction, but that would change the whole identity of our premises, and especially since we're still living at the premises, it was still residential. So what Province said, it would be a good idea for us to apply for an annexure. So an annexure is a document that's attached to your building plans for as long as you have the premises. So if you sell your building, it will be transferred to the next owner, that a part of that premises is designated for a place of instruction if the person wants to use it. Do you understand? You still have to pay for advertising. Advertising is quite expensive. I think we paid in the region of 14,000 Rand because it's advertised for 21 days. The neighbours get letters, however many neighbours the city decides they need to approach. They get letters to hear their comment, and that's also quite pricey because those are registered letters. That is for rezoning or an annexure. It's the same thing. Rezoning just means the whole property dynamics changes. Your rates and tax obviously go up with that because you're no longer residents, you're now business. If you have an annexure, you still have a residence with an attachment to say that a part of your premises can be used as a place of instruction. Now, all these documents that you have is on a USB stick. It's now paperless. Once you can go to the city, if you have a problem, you can go to the desk and anybody would be there that's available to come and help you, or you can ask the person who is the person that is responsible for helping you to register a place of instruction. Maybe there's 1 or 2 people that are designated to do that. Otherwise, anybody at the desk are quite willing to help you. You have a little room where there's a private space, a little office, let's call it an office, where you can go and sit and take as long as you need to get all your documents in. And I advise you to go to town planning and maybe even make an appointment so that you can get someone to assist you through the process of registering online. So let's summarize what you need to have. You need to have your building plan scanned in, you need to have a motivation letter, and you need to have, is that all? Motivation. You need to have your ID document, a copy of your ID because you are making the application, the name of your school, a password, and a username. Then, is that it? Let me think, yeah. On a USB stick, either apply online from your home or go into Leisure House, in our area it's Leisure House, or town planning department in your area, and apply for your building plan to be approved. From there, land use will send application to the fire department to come and inspect your premises whether it's safe. Health department will come and inspect your premises to see whether you have enough space for each person that you want at your property, and then the transport department to see whether you have enough parking and what impact you're going to have on the road use in your area. Is it going to be safe for your children to be dropped off at your school? Those 3 points are 3 separate videos. Today we're just talking about land use, and this is the start of where your registration process for ECD begins. You see in our thumbnail we have 10 out of 10. It's not 10 out of 10. We are making 10 videos, and hopefully it will take 10 months from the start of the process at land use management till the end with social development. We're crossing our fingers that it will take you 10 months. So 10 videos to show 10 months of registration that will take place. And hopefully before the end of the year, you will be able to have your ECD center registered, or your place of instruction, or your partial care center. All of them are the same thing. Registered with the city, with social development for 5 years. Your permit that you get from from land use, as far as I know, that permit does not expire. I know that the DSD certificate, that expires after 5 years and you need to redo everything again, or just resubmit everything again. But as far as I know, land use, you do not have to apply for a repeated land use application. Once you get your approval, it's there. If you like what I've spoken about, if this is helpful, you can pop a comment in the comment box below. If you need to know any more, you can contact me as well, the same way. Next week, we are going to speak about fire and safety. The reason why I say fire safety is because in my applications of having my place being registered as a place of instruction, fire department came to inspect our premises on 2 occasions. First, we put in 2 applications because the one, it just took very, very long because there was a lot of things where transport was concerned. Transport was holding us up. So at the end of 5 years, we cut. So, yeah. Next week we're going to speak about fire because they were the first one to pitch up. Then we're going to speak about health, and then we're going to speak about transport. Hope to see you then. I forgot to say that you need to also have your lease agreement, your bond agreement, or your title deed if your bond is fully paid. So let's summarize. What do you need? You need to have a lease agreement, an approved building plan, a motivational letter, and something else. And then on the other hand, you need to have your name, the amount of children that you are going to have at your centre, the hours that you're going to operate, the times that you are going to operate, and a username and a password. All your information must be on a USB stick, and then you go off to Town Planning Office to submit your plans there on their computer, or you can do it at home on your computer. If this has been helpful to you, you can pop me a comment below. Next week we are going to do our next video, and that's going to be on fire and safety, because once the forms go out, I found in my experience that the fire department is the first department that pitch up to do the inspection. They are the ones who are going to come and check that all your fire and safety equipment is in place, that you have enough space. They measure the space, but the Department of Health, they put the number on their certificate, and then from the health we go to transport. Those 3 videos are 3 separate videos, and they're going to follow in that order: fire, health and transport. If you'd like to see some more of my content, watch this video over here, and then we'll see each other again next time. Stay safe.